the story is about Isaac and Rebecca coming together, right? And you just got this servant who was obedient. But the story is really about a servant being obedient to the call, getting no glory for it. He's not even going to be mentioned, right? Which makes it even more amazing. Let's say if it is Eliezer, the Bible's making a point now.
It's like, you don't need to know this person.
You don't need to know.
That's not the point.
Yes, the point is he went in the name of Adonai and God filled in the details. And the story is not about him. It's about what God is doing. And now he participates in that story, and that's where the glory is. And so when we as believers go, oh, it's not about me. I'm in the story and God's going to work out the details. But ultimately, it's not my story. It's his story. And when I get on board with that, then I actually get to see the glory of what he's doing.
I literally never thought about this until just now when you said that. The servant is actually a perfect parallel to Isaac himself. Right? He's not getting the glory, but he's like in Isaac's case, he's following his father's will. In the servant's case, he's following his master's will. But both of them are relatively anonymous in contrast to Abraham, right? Like Isaac just does what Abraham says, but Abraham gets the glory. The servant just does what his master says, but Isaac and Rebecca are the ones who get the focus. Like the servant is the perfect foil for Isaac because. And he's the perfect person to find the partner for Isaac because Isaac's whole life is about doing the right thing, even though the right thing is unglamorous. And that's exactly what the servant does. I never thought about that until just now.
And it's a powerful reminder how God plays out a story going, Jesus always says, the greatest in the kingdom of heaven is not the person who's first, it's the person who's last. It's what makes God's economy and his kingdom of heaven so powerful. It's the people who are at the bottom who are doing these unglorified, they're not glorified in the same sense as the world, but they're doing something powerful. And it's the servitude and the person who's willing to do something without getting any of the glory, which is actually really great in God's eyes. And so the glory is in the story, but it's also about those who realize, like, if I can live a life of service and not want to be that person who's like, everyone wants to be Abraham. I'm the father of faith, or I want to be this guy. And really, it's like, no, I want to be the person who's obedient.
Yeah. You don't need to be the face on the t-shirt.
No.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Abraham dies.
The end.
Not funny. Not funny. Just, it's sad. And here's the last thing I want to point out before we close this out. Abraham has another wife.
Yeah.
And more kids.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, I'm curious because I'm like, okay, it's a detail that's in there. Why? Why is it important that we hear about kids that we're not going to really track in any great length? The story, we realize the story is Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, but we also see Abraham has another wife. He has more children. And then we go into sort of this, genealogy of
Ishmael.
Yeah. Why is that important to God?
So it's so interesting. I was just thinking about this. One theme of what we've talked about from the very beginning of this is the Bible wants to do two things. It wants to show you one specific story, and it also wants you to know that focusing on one specific story proves to you that every specific story actually matters in its own way. And each story, but they don't matter in the same way, right? Everyone's own unique history, story, background, skills, talents gives you a unique ability to do something in God's eyes.